How many of us initially thought that COVID was just a temporary setback and that the travel bans that were imposed by governments would be lifted in just a matter of weeks? Most demand forecasters then started comparing the downturn with the financial crisis of 2007 and 8 and forecasting passenger numbers based on those figures. Since then, we've seen several reforecasts as we've grappled with ever-changing regulations, variants, vaccines, and now PCR tests, and even vaccine passports. This revenue management session aims to talk about how best to manipulate an RM system that is so hugely dependent on historical data. Clearly, doing nothing and using a wait-and-see approach is not the best way to do this in times of such monumental change and can actually lead to an even greater revenue loss. Demand forecasting underpins absolutely everything within revenue management. To put it simply, it controls whether you hold out for higher fares, sometimes for too long, and fly with empty seats on perishable capacity. Or on the other side of the scale, sell too cheap, too quickly, and have fuller flights, but may not necessarily have maximized your revenue to its full potential. It is at these times that a good revenue manager's skill set gets severely tested, and contrary to some misconceptions, it's certainly not when you switch off all the RM systems and stop managing your flights. I'm Dinaz from Revenue Pricing Consultants, a UK-based RM consultancy. And in this session, I talk about the level of research and informed actions RM departments should consider when pricing for a period of unprecedented demand change. As I'm using the recent pandemic as an example, you will gain deep insight into several data points from industry organizations and globally renowned consultancies. That should help you with your initial positioning, and then also help you to be prepared to gain quickly during the predicted revenue recovery phases. At the end of this video, therefore, you should be quite clear on the commercial impact of the pandemic on the aviation industry, the predictions for recovery from established organizations, how this pandemic has changed customer expectations and therefore their booking behavior. And from there, gain pointers on leveraging your cost and your price levers to speed up your revenue growth, essentially optimizing every single opportunity. Even for more experienced revenue managers, I believe that each of you will gain from going through the program, either by assimilating concrete action plans right now, or as some form of subliminal learning for similar scenarios in the future. So the whole concept is very transferable. I've worked for over 20 years now with large global organizations such as British Airways and also Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, with Bourne Leisure in the UK holiday park sector, and also in the hotel space, for a management company that looked after multiple brands like Intercontinental, Marriott, Starwood, Accor, and others. Since then, I've been consulting in revenue management and pricing, and I've delivered some key diagnostic and improvement plans, plus interim support for several international and domestic airlines. So this includes not just full service, but also low cost and ULCC, ultra low cost, essentially all parts of the spectrum. I can certainly say, therefore, that I bring a very unique and rounded revenue management perspective to the table. So come and join me if you'd like to take advantage of all the data points that I have collated for you, where you get a macro view on the scale of the commercial impact on our industry, and also assess the external and internal sources that you should leverage to influence demand. I also provide a lot of detail on recovery predictions using business segmentation, which is essential within revenue management best practice if you want to make the most out of the recovery opportunity. We talk about markets and business areas that are least affected, so that you can then plan better if you operate within those. And then you learn about the changes that are currently influencing customer buying behavior, how customer expectations have changed, and what your competitors and the aviation industry as a whole are doing to address that, and consequently, by our actions, how it impacts some of revenue management's traditional methods and calculations, such as cancellations. I'm sure you'll benefit quite tangibly from tuning in. Thank you.